Have you ever done a decision in your life that didn't make any logical sense to you in the moment, but you did it anyway, and it turned out to be the best thing that you could ever done in your life? If you ever had, then I have a good news for you. You have a very strong spirit, and that spirit is leading you. I'm going to tell you my personal story, how I find out about the spirit and how we are not just our bodies, our souls, but we also have a spirit. And all the decisions that do not make sense to our mind, that do not make sense to our soul, are driven from your spirit. And we were created by God to live our life spirit-led. But in our fallen world, in our society, we've been taught and programmed since infancy that everything has a logical explanation. Everything has to make sense. But sometimes we just find ourselves, we have this urge, the inner knowing, I have to do this, or I have to jump on this project, or I have to move to this country, or I have to be friends with this person. And it has no logical explanation why. Just a knowing, just a feeling. And a lot of us being programmed to fear this kind of irrational decisions. And we've been living in the autopilot, purely driven by your desires of your soul or desires of your mind, that everything has to make sense. But I'm here to tell you that the best thing in your life, decision that you made from your spirit, and those decisions, they're freaking your mind out. Those are decisions that will have people question your sanity, but those are the best decisions that you can possibly have. I'll give you my personal experience. I grew up in poverty. I grew up in a very small village. It was so remote. We didn't have money, but we were a very happy family. And since I could remember myself, we didn't have television. There was nothing that I could look and be inspired of. But I just had this urge, this feeling, this just knowing that was bursting in me since I could remember myself. I was like, I'm not going to live here. I know I'm not going to live in this village. I just knew I'm going to move to United States, I thought at the time, or the North American continent. How could I possibly knew that? I have no idea. My whole life, I was driven by that desire, by that knowing that everything else is temporarily, but my end goal, I will move to Canada, right, to the North America. That was my knowing. There was no explanation, no backup. We didn't have any family, no friends. No one ever in my village been outside of my village. So it sounds like a crazy town. They was like, you can never go there. You don't speak English. You don't have money. You don't have anybody there. Like, what are you talking about? So very early on, I've learned not all of your desires, not all of your vision we should share with people. I was protecting my desire. I was protecting my vision by not telling them. But inside, I always knew. That's why I never got into a lot of trouble, because I was like, you know what? I know exactly this is all temporarily. I don't need to date these people, this guy. I don't need to be serious about this relationship because this is temporarily. I knew my goal. And even though my surrounding was screaming, you're crazy. What are you talking about? The maximum that you can do, just move from this city, from this village to a city, the capital of the region that I grew up with, where I was born. That was the top. Like, what are you talking about? And that was my inner battle, but my spirit was stronger. It was guiding me, and it was no matter how many times people were screaming in my face and telling you, you're insane, just settle down, just like everyone else, and forget about it. It was great, it was a fantasy, but forget about it. There's no way you can go. Like, no one ever went there. Like, how could you? There's no one to guide you. And I had that drive in me my whole life, and I moved, and it came true when I was 25. Everything made sense. Every decision that I made that didn't make sense to my mind brought me to Canada. And this is just one example. Another one was with my book. Again, it was just insanity when I started to talk about my book. I was like, I'm going to write this book, but my mind, my rational mind was telling me, that's impossible. How are you going to write the book? You have 2 kids that are infant, like they're like toddler and like a newborn. You barely have time to take a shower. How on earth are you going to write a book? And guess what? When I shut down that voice, that doubts, those insecurities in me, and I remembered that the same voices were telling me that was insanity, that was impossible for me to come to Canada. But I did. And I used the same technique and I said, you know what? I've heard this before. I've heard this narrative, this is impossible before, but I didn't listen to them. And guess where I am right now? Where I am right now, I'm living my life and I'm living the dream that I've always had in my heart. Same thing I applied with the book. And guess what? I finished it. It was impossible. My kids ask for my attention 24/7, for sure. But what happened? In that moment, I made a decision not to listen to my rational mind, which made total sense. I had a full-time job, 2 kids, husband, no support, like no close family that would, watch over our kids. And so I can write my book. But guess what? When you start to make a decision and you start shutting down the doubts of your mind, all the people around you doubting you, saying this is a great idea, but maybe you have to wait a little bit because right now it's too busy. I'm going to tell you, every season is going to be busy. But once you can distinguish the difference of your decision-making process based on your mind or based on your spirit, and those decisions that your spirit is prompting you to do, maybe it's a project, maybe this is business that you've been talking about for so long, or maybe haven't even talked to someone and just had it in your heart, or maybe you thought, you know what, I'm going to be this speaker, or I'm going to make my YouTube podcast, or maybe I'm going to do something with my life, something that makes your heart jump out of joy. But you let the mind, you let the voices around you to shut that desire, to shut that will that actually going to bring you to your best life. When you're going to feel so energized, you're going to wake up with desire to go for it. You will know you will have obstacles when you will spirit-led life. But the amount of drive, because you'll know you do something that it doesn't make sense. You can't explain it how it's going to happen. Maybe you don't have funds, but you want to have a business, but you was like, I'm broke. Like, how am I going to start the business? But that knowing inside that you're going to make it anyway, I guarantee that your spirit is talking to you, and he's just, all he wants right now for you to learn how to shut your mind, to shut your fears in your soul, to shut the voices of people who are around you, who wants so-called best for you, but they have no idea what is best for you. They have no idea what is best for them. The only thing that knows what's best for you, it's the spirit. God gave us spirit so we can live full, fulfilling life, the life full of joy and purpose. And it can only be achieved if we start to listen to your spirit. And that voice, like I said, it could sound insane. It could be those ideas. I want to make a movie. And then your mind starts to say, you never went to the university of... How are you gonna make a movie? Oh, I want to write a book. How are you gonna write a book? This is impossible. You barely speak English. Like, it could be many other voices that are gonna overshadow that will, that drive. But that knowing, whatever you have in you, just give it a try. Give it a try and learn how to distinguish are you making decisions based on a rational mind, based on all calculated, well-planned plan? This is not the spirit-led. The spirit-led decision or desires usually sounds insane. They have no plans. You have no idea how you're going to accomplish it. When I was thinking about moving to Canada, I didn't have money. I didn't even have a bank account. Okay, I didn't speak English. None of it made sense to me. Even to me, it didn't make sense. But my will, my spirit will was a lot stronger than the voices and the doubts in me. That the doubts people around me, from my family members, and they meant the best for me because they were concerned about me. Where are you going? You have nobody. And guess what? The moment I landed in Canada, it was the best day of my life. I remember I was just so joyful and I had so much energy. The same thing I applied with the book, and I guarantee you have those spirit-led inspiration in you. You just let your mind, you just let your soul to shut them down because it was too scary. It was too risky. It was too crazy to even admit it, to say it out loud. But I'm here to admit to you today that I'm a living example of those decisions, spirit-led decisions. And we were meant to live on this earth on a spirit-led life, not the soul-led life, not the mind-led life. Those are the lives that I feel secure, that feel safe, that will feel almost rehearsed. They feel pleasing to your parents. They feel pleasing to your partners. Those are the ones you can go for it. You can go for it. But if it's going to bring you nowhere, you will have a dissatisfaction in your spirit that will end up feeling depressed, feeling unfulfilled, feel you don't have a joy anymore. Even everything is around you will be perfect. You're gonna feel this numbing desire that there's something is missing and you have no idea what it is. And I'm here to tell you, this is your spirit talking to you, because he finally wants you to wake up and finally revisit those desires that you had maybe as a child. That's the problem. A lot of us have been programmed not to even let those desires to sink in. You automatically shutting them down as, no, that's too scary. No, that's impossible. No, I'm not good enough. Oh, no, I don't have enough experience. I'm here to tell you, I had all of those doubts. Everything, my environment was screaming to me, there is no way. You are insane. That's impossible. To me, back in the days, me being in that small village, it was like if someone would come to you right now and tell, you know what, Diana, I'm going to go one day and be going to attend the college or university on the moon. To me, it would be like, you crazy, like that's insane. This is how insane it sounded, because I didn't have means, I didn't have resources, I didn't have any support. All I had, just this deep knowing. Out of nowhere, I couldn't back it up. When people ask, I don't know. I just felt it. I just knew it in my heart. This is what I need to do. And you have those moments too. I encourage you today, go back, revisit those crazy, wildest dreams that you ever had, or thoughts, ideas. And I'm telling you, you're going to end up thinking, how am I going to accomplish this? Oh, does not make sense. Oh, I don't have enough money. Yes, exactly. This is going to be your mind reacting and trying to protect you. But I guarantee, if you will learn how to shut those voices down and just once in your life, let that decision to grow and follow it. Nothing is going to make sense to you. It doesn't mean, but as soon as you make that decision, trust me, people will come to your life. Opportunities will come to your life that will lead you to accomplish that. But it starts with decision. If you're gonna still go, I'm not sure, oh, maybe it was, I'm not sure. No, it's a one moment decision when you say, yeah, I know, it doesn't make sense. I understand, maybe I'm not qualified. But in my heart, what means heart is in Bible, it's synonymous to your spirit. But in my heart, I know this is what I need to do. In my heart, I know this is where I should move. Or in my heart, I think I shouldn't be on this job. This is not it doesn't bring me any joy or fulfillment. I know I was meant for more. And once you start practice this intentionally, every day, start with a one spirit-led desire and see what it's gonna get you. See what it's gonna bring you. And you will start notice that your energy is shifting. You're gonna get so much inspiration just to thinking about it. Imagine you just allow yourself just to think about, just imagine in your mind, what is your life gonna look like if that dream, that book, or that business, that project that you always dreamed of and never had opportunity to complete or even face it, just picture yourself there for a second. And I guarantee your energy is gonna shift. You're gonna be so pumped. And this is how you know you are tapping into the spirit-led desires. And that's how we were meant to live. This is why God left us on this earth. Not to be all well-planned, well-calculated life. This is not fulfilling. It only brings fulfillment and security to your body and to your soul and to your mind. Your spirit is not satisfied. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this video. If you are searching for something more, it means your spirit is not satisfied. He's prompting you to finally wake up, forget about all of the failures that you had in the past. Forget about it. And in my experience, my first attempt to come to Canada failed. I couldn't make it. I was 21. I was crushed. But guess what? My mind was trying to tell me, see, I told you it's impossible. But I said, anyway, maybe it didn't work that time, but I will find way. And I was keep on pushing. And guess what? God was giving me new opportunity. He was giving me new solutions to come. And the timing was perfect when I arrived. I was 25. I was thriving. And I knew this is exactly where I was supposed to be. I really hope this video helps you. I really hope you will allow yourself today, go revisit those dreams and forget about forget about the map, forget about the steps that you have to take. Just allow yourself to make that decision and say, hey, maybe, you know what? Maybe I should do it. And I guarantee if you're going to keep choosing those decisions, the spirit-led decision every day, your life is never going to be the same. You will be transformed. People around you are going to feel you're going to radiate a different energy, and God will guide you because that's how He wants you to live your life. Not on a survival mode, not on the mode that pleases your parents or pleases your mind that, oh, this is the most safe, this is the most secure plan, let's stick it up with this. No. I'm here to tell you, it's going to drive you to a pit hole when you're going to have everything around you, but going to be the most miserable person in the world. You're going to be depressed. You'll be trying to cover up with something else, with some addiction, with some shopping addiction, maybe some watching endlessly be on social media. And this is not the life you were supposed to be living. I really hope you take this video seriously, and I really encourage you. Your spirit isn't already with you. And if you already had those feelings, if you already made those decisions at least once, I'm telling you, go back, revisit that, use that confidence. Remember that when you were making that decision that didn't make sense to anybody, even to yourself, but you did it anyway, and it turns out to be the best things in your life. This is the life you were meant to live. I really wish you a good week. And again, do not let this world to dim your light, because this world is doing everything possible to dim our light, to dim our desires, to dim our spirit, so we can live small, secure, well-rehearsed life that pleases nobody. Bye.